according to the very spirit of our U.S. Constitution, being by so many brilliant, so on, foreseeing founding fathers， 因为美国的美国国父很多，他不止一个，他founding fathers， 他们都有这种远见，所以 so to say that privacy is protected by use of the Constitution. Therefore, we have here come up with a decision saying that privacy right is something protected by U.S. such 就像我们现在讲的 First Amendment, freedom of speech， 这个我要讲多一点 ，freedom of speech. I'm not an expert on freedom of speech, okay, First Amendment, saying basically you can't not deny other people's speech or statement or writing by 应该怎么讲？我来讲 by saying that it's a bad statement， 你不能说它是好或者坏，去 deny 别人一个发表的机会，你觉得有没有道理？那假如 if it is about child pornography 怎么办？ Hey, I have my freedom of speech right to publish my relationship with another 5-year-old kid， 你觉得怎么办？所以他这个实际上你真的去思考一下 ，freedom of speech 是一个非常有争论性的东西了。因为 people always try to make the decision between good or bad， 对不对？所以这实际上是一个很困难问题。所以说，if you see a statement being posted on Twitter saying that all Jews are evil, all Jews are Christ killer, so they should be condemned by every Christian， 说犹太人他们是杀耶稣基督的，对不对？因为根据那个古老的圣经，我不是说我现在不是谈宗教，跟你说好像他是因为他的犹太的门徒把他出卖了嘛，是怎么样？所以我们都应该恨犹太人。你现在 Twitter 现在就面临这个问题 ，and it's the very reason for which, according to Elon Musk, saying that hey。Twitter is doing the wrong thing by canceling President Trump's account simply because some of the statements by President Trump, you don't like them. Is that a right thing to do? Is that a infringement, 就是说侵害or encroachment on everybody's and President Trump's freedom of speech, right for freedom of speech, but in particular, is Twitter doing the wrong thing by closing up his Twitter account? This is very debatable. Okay, so when you up to until now, when you really think about this case, why is it that you think Elon Musk will want to do that, want to buy out Twitter? To become the CEO of Twitter. He's saying that, I'm doing the right thing. I'm protecting the freedom of speech for everyone, including President Trump. So no one should be prejudiced or discriminated by Twitter because of the statement being made. Whether or not regardless of whether you like the statement or not. 所以从这个角度讲，它好像是，所以 ，but you have to understand, there's no such a thing as free lunch. There's no such a thing as, hey, I'm doing this all for the good of humankind, for the protection of everyone's freedom of speech. I don't think that's true. I think it's all about business, all about marketing. So, if you want to ask me, hey, Miss Michael, what do you think about the real motive of Elon Musk doing all these? Actually, he's not making money through this deal. He's losing money. Okay, we'll talk about this guy. We'll talk about it later. He's not making any money, but it's a very. I would say my personal opinion is a very good PR campaign. Okay, not only for Tesla, but also for X-Space or SpaceX, another company owned by Elon Musk, as well as Elon Musk himself. So I would categorize it as a marketing campaign, which, in my opinion, is successful.
There needs to be content moderation.
Oh, just a second. Content moderation. Just you have to have some control mechanism on Twitter to, how do you say that, to block some of the statements you think are bad. For example, things said about Jewish people, things being said about child pornography, things being said about interracial marriages. Some of the people just would love to say all those things, but some of them just simply hate about all these things being posted on Twitter, so on and so forth. So you have, the ultimate issue is that whether it is the right thing to do for Twitter to come up with an automatic content moderation mechanism to block some of the statements being regarded as bad statements. For example, hate language, hate speeches, so on, racial things. Is that 就是说它有一个自动删除的机制或者自动挡住的机制，它就不让你 po 上去。This is if you really look at, if you think about it, I mean, when it comes to First Amendment right, it's the core of the First Amendment right is that no one can deny your right to publish. You may not like it. You may come up with your own argument. You can come up with all the counter statements about what I say. That's fine, but there's no way you can deny my right to publish it. Okay, so it's from a purely First Amendment point of view, Twitter cannot deny access of those people who try to publish bad statements on Twitter, right? You can say, hey, these are bad things. I mean, we will make an argument. We're saying you are bad people doing this, but you cannot deny their right to have access to the Twitter. That's the very thing that Elon Musk is talking about when he refers to everyone's First Amendment right. 那你觉得，所以他说你不能去改这些东西啊，你不能改这些机制啊 ，content moderation 就是调整嘛，去改它的内容啊。Poison pill 有毒药丸 ，okay, you can go on Google to check what it means. Basically, it's a shareholders agreement. Okay, it's shareholders agreement made by the board of directors of Twitter, saying that, hey, if you, Elon Musk, has owned more than 15% of the entire shareholding of Twitter, all of the other shareholders of the company can buy the Twitter share at half price. That means to be able to get more shareholding of the company, to have more control of the company, you have to pay more. That's basically what the poison pill is about. It's a strategy. It's an old strategy. Okay, it's been created in the 80s. In the 80s, in the case of hostile takeover. Okay, because the buyer is saying that I don't need to deal with all these directors. Okay, the board of directors, they will come up with all kinds of conditions and terms so that I have to comply by signing an agreement with them. I don't want that. I want to pursue my goal directly from buying shares directly from open market. That's hostile takeover, which 90% of the management of the company hates, because if that happens, that means they will soon be out of the picture in no time. Okay, so the board of directors of the company would try very hard to come up with a leverage through which the buyer or the potential buyer will want to cut a deal with them for the conditions to fulfill before the deal can be closed. But that means you don't go to general shareholders as a whole. I mean, you come to talk to us as the directors. If you don't do that, we'll come up with this poison pill strategy so that it will be harder for you to gain more shareholding of the company or gain more control of the company unless you first cut a deal with us. That's the poison pill. He's trying to say that it's a little bit different from what we understand in terms of the buyer's right to walk away. He's saying that according to the contract between Elon Musk and the directors or management team of Twitter, saying basically if for any reason he gives up, okay, this purchase of Twitter shares by 52.20, if he walks away, he'll have to pay a walk-away fee of how much? 1 billion. Is that 1 billion? 1 billion. Okay. 1 billion. Okay.
Crisis. There were lots of deals that fell apart because the financing didn't show up for the close. So there's a financing out from this deal. But in this environment, Musk has said nothing about lack of financing. So the financing seems to be there, and as a result, he's committed to closing the deal. But on May 13th,
this is very interesting. I have to say a little bit more about this. It's not like what you think, that if I don't want the deal, I decide to walk away. All that I need to do is pay 1 billion walk-away fee， 就是叫什么违约金啦。你这个叫什么定金啊 ？I get my walk-away fee being forfeited because I failed the deal. It's not like that. He is saying that you simply cannot drop the deal by paying this 1 billion walk-away fee. You have to also show that you can't get enough financing in time as one critical condition you have to fulfill before you can say, forget about the deal, I'm not walking away, I'll pay you 1 billion. It's not enough. You have to also show that you are not able to get all the financing you need to close the deal after reasonable efforts being made. 就是律师玩的字眼，不是说你到时候你不买了，我说我被你没收1万，好像是10亿美金就行了吗？不行，你还要证明说你已经用尽穷荒之力，是不是合理去找贷款、找金源、找金主，你还是找不到，to come up with 40 something billion to go through with the deal. I have done all the things that I reasonably possibly can to, but I still can't get it. So I have called it off. So I have to walk away, and if I walk away, I'll pay you. This is basic. So, but it's not that. 这个你会看是有很 interesting point to come about. Okay, this is very important. When people talk to you about this case, you say, hey, Elon Musk is saying that there are just too many bots, okay, serving as the subscribers of Twitter. In fact, there are more than how many? I don't know, 70% of the subscribers are actually bots. But according to your Twitter's announcement to the SEC, 就是跟证管会所发表的这个通告说 they're perhaps only 5%. So I don't know how many subscribers Twitter have. I don't know, a couple of, 2 billion or 10 billion. I have no idea. But he says only 5% are bots. But in fact, there could be 20% or could even go 50% are bots. But we don't know. But this is Musk is saying that I want to cut it off. I don't want to continue with the deal. I have to come up with a reason. One reason is that I cannot get enough financing after reasonable effort being exercised. Okay, Because according to the contract that I have signed with the management team, I can walk away if I don't get enough money to buy the shares. Okay, but this is something that is hard to do because you have to prove it. You have exercise efforts, and then, not to mention you also have to pay $1 billion walk-away fee. However, if he says, okay, what are you talking about? It's a misrepresentation in the contract. You say that based on because based on the contract, you say the statement you have made to the SEC about your companies are truthful. 根据你给我的合约里面讲，你跟美国的证管会所公告的信息都是真实的。然后 one of the statement being made by Twitter management to the SEC was simply saying that, hey, about the number of the bots that we have found, it's about 5% or more. But I have found out maybe it's 20%, for example. Then it's a breach of contract. It's a breach of a contract. It's not about walk away. It's a breach of a contract because a breach of a contract, I have every right under the law to terminate the contract so that I don't have to continue with. I have every right to do that, which we shall see in a little while. Basically, that's what he says. Important specific performance. Okay, 这是 Michael 要开始讲古了。Long time ago, in the 11th century, when England has started its own legal system. At that time, we're talking about in the 12th century, 13th century, there were two parallel systems coexisting at the same time. 在当时呢，英国的司法制度有2个同时存在的法院系统，你可以叫法院系统了。One is equity, the other is law. That's the name. The law system and equity system. 翻译起来 ，equity 就是讲正义的 ，law 是讲 damage 讲金钱补偿的。The damage remedy is all about money or monetary remedy or monetary relief that you can seek from the law system. But there is at the same time coexisting another system that they call equity system. 它不是 law 了，它就是 equity. Equity is run by all those nobility 那些贵族，因为贵族才会讲究正义嘛。Okay, 所以 if you are ordinary people, you go to the law system. Okay, all that you can get is money for the damages you have suffered from the breach of a contract of the defendant or some of the tortious conduct being inflicted on you by the defendant. 也就是说，在那种系统里面，你只能做这个要求。金钱上的损害赔偿，譬如说违约啦，他侵权啊。But there's no way you can force the defendant to do something for you. Okay, to do something for you or to pay a punitive damage to you because of the things that he done causing your damage. 也就是说，在那个系统，在远古的时候，那个系统是一般老百姓，就是说你能追求的是金钱上的损害赔偿，因为他的故意过失或者违约造成你的损害，你只能走这一步。除了这边，你不能做，你没有办法做。但是有很多事情 it's not just all about money, right? There's some other things that could be more important. One of the things is specific performance. 这是什么？强制你非要履行契约不可。Hey, you have to rent this apartment to me if all these conditions have been fulfilled as equitable relief. 就是说，在衡平的原则之下，你不是说你房东，你今天找到一个比我付租金更高的房客，你就说我不租你了，你不租你了，因为我赔你嘛，因为我收了租金，我差额，我还有赚呢，对不对 ？That's not equitable. 根据that system is operated by the House of Lords in England in 12th century， 也就是说，当时的英国的议会不是有 House of Commons， 就是普通人嘛，一个就像我们现在什么 Senate and House of Representatives 众议院、参议院嘛，那时候 House of Lords，OK，所以那些人 they are no judges， they were not judges， 他们就是贵族啊，什么什么长喜大臣啊那种东西。他说嘿。This is inequitable. You are here to seek equitable relief. If all the conditions are met, we as the Lord, 我们是高高在上的贵族，我们说，嘿 justice must be fulfilled. Justice must be served so that you have performed your contract, whether or you like it or not. 我们在讲的主要粗俗的话，你非要把这个房子租给他。或者你悔婚，你非得娶她不可，不是说哦，今天别人来了另外一个追求者，长得比较帅，什么这不是叫什么聘金给的比较多，我爸爸就说哦，那你女儿你就嫁给这个有钱的，不行，这是 equity 的问题。所以我讲了那么多，就讲说，嘿 ，right now in the U.S. there's no such a division between the two systems. Everything has been combined into one legal system in the United States, containing both damage and equitable reliefs to coexist and at the same time. But 9 out of 10, it's the damage rule applies, which is compensatory. In very rare exceptions, you can get punitive damages or specific performance of a contract. 也就是说，法院，我不要损害赔偿，我要你就是叫怎么讲？履约。This is what it's talking about. If you have signed a contract, you have done bad things, you have lied repeatedly to serve your own personal purposes, to our damages, to the jeopardizing the justice or social welfare as a whole, then I'm seeking equitable relief from this court to make you do the specific performance of a contract， 也就是说，你必须要花这么多钱来买我这些股票，但是真的到了法院 ，most likely it won't work. Okay, most likely the court will say, hey, you can get your damages. That's all there is to it. But specific importance is something I think you should know. Another thing. The jury system does not apply to equitable relief. 也就是说，你去找陈平，以前衡平的时候啊，你是没有 jury 的。That's the law. That's the people sitting on the top to make a decision on the equitable relief to say, hey, this is what should be done. This is what should be done. You get your or you don't get your equitable relief. 他们都是贵族。我在讲的意思就是说，没有陪审团。OK， 所以呢 ，the same rule. Okay. Now in the U.S., if you are seeking monetary relief in a civil case, you have every right to have a jury trial. But if it is equitable relief, they still have it right now. You don't have a jury trial. You can only get the issue to be decided by the judge presiding the case. 也就是说，你如果现在的美国法院，你要求的是衡平，其实还是有那 equitable relief 的时候呢，你是没有 jury trial， 这是另外一个差。这个在哪里会常见到 ？patent case 专利的案子里面就偶尔会有见到，但是，我们不需要知道那么多，我是觉得这个很重要，就让你们理解一下这个 about the jurisprudence of the English law going all the way back to 12th century. 花一点大家的时间 we are close to the end of for today's class. MAE material adverse effect 其实就是不可抗力了我跟你讲很好笑 when you see a standardized American contract, you will see so many things being said about the same thing using different words. The very reason for all these differences being made in one single contract is because in the good old days, they had both equity and law systems, and each system used its own terminology to represent basically the same thing. 所以啊，你看美国的这个合约或者条约，它是又臭又长，一直转，然后你也会觉得很奇怪，为什么同样的一个意思翻来覆去的讲？其实 the very reason for which is you have to go back to the origin when all these terminologies were created during the time when they had both systems coexisting at the same time. For example, this is here it is material adverse effect, 很实质的我预想不到的做生意的怎么讲这个结果譬如说 COVID-19. I used to have a very good business in China, but now China has this rule so that nobody can go in, nobody can come out, so that there's no business that I can do in China. This is a material adverse effect that have occurred beyond the expectation of the party when the contract was reviewed and signed. 我们可能都没有都意想不到这种结局，我当然可以 back off 了，我可以 walk away 啊。我以前认为 I can for example based on my preliminary assessment of my financial profitability for the deal is that I can make $3 million US if everything goes well. However, I have the COVID-19 situation in Taiwan, and I'm selling brand name jewelry. The wealthy Chinese will be very interested, but they're not interested at all at this moment because of this COVID-19 situation, so on and so forth. So this amounts to a material adverse effect, so that I can walk away. It's just like force majeure clause. If you some of the treaties, if you have the chance to review, there's always a force majeure. 那是哪一文国文我也不晓得，是拉丁文还是法文 ？Force majeure clause 不可抗力 ，act of God 他们在那个横评的时候，他就用这些字。其实 basically, well, there are nuanced distinctions or difference. Nuance 就是微差。But 微差 could mean legally significant. This is another matter. 但是，譬如说，在合约，你看有个字很奇怪，叫 covenant. Covenant 是什么意思？其实也是 I promise， 但是它就是不是 ，it's not just promise. It means something more. Covenant. 譬如说 misrepresentation 就是错误，这其实。什么意思表示那一类，但是他都用不同的字在讲相同的事情，但是它中间有微差。That the very reason is that there were two existing systems in the very beginning， 所以他们就会有相同的东西一直在重复，你会看到。所以你们如果有机会要去翻译这些条文的话，千万不要照字翻，没有人可以看得懂的，因为他一直在转来转去的，你一定要用意思去翻，所以there's no such a thing as word for word translation when it comes to a contract translation， 没有办法的，因为尤其是那个美国的，他一直翻来覆去的讲相同的东西。好，我讲了这么多，其实就要告诉大家 ，Elon Musk the third argument saying that I would want to buy these shares, but there's such situation that has come up. Okay, so I have every reason to walk away because of this. The material adverse effect that has occurred after the contract is signed， 是这个意思。Trying to get out of the contract， 请继续吧。就看到这里，就是 if I can make to summarize what has been discussed in terms of Elon Musk's strategy to walk away from the deal that he has already signed. Okay. One is that it's a fraud issue because you have made false statements to the SEC, which you have misrepresented in our contract, saying that they are all truthful, but it turns out to be they're not truthful and they are false, and it's a breach of contract, and it's a misrepresentation based on which I can terminate the contract without being required to pay for that $1 billion US walkaway fee. This is the most important. And secondly, of course, the whistleblower, that security officer of Twitter, who had fired him. Okay, and that is also important. I mean, he's a real ally, okay, of Elon Musk if he wants to continue with the litigation. Okay, this is a fraud issue, a whistleblower issue, and also MAE. Okay, when I tried to cut the deal with the Twitter, I thought it was only 5% bots. Now they turn out to be, it could be a lot higher than 5%. It could reach even to 25%. This is the situation where I could not have reasonably expected when I review all the documents. So this is 情况变更啦，就是叫做中文叫做情况 a change of significant circumstance before and after the contract is signed. So there, I have a right to terminate, okay, without being held accountable for the damage, which Twitter manager may seek. 还有没有其他的 argument？ 我只记得这3样了。然后就想，然后我今天讲的可能就是算是最后一堂课，就是中文讲的比较多。我觉得倒不是说，我觉得有些因为你们法律出身的同学比较少嘛，可能我觉得用中文说明的一下比较多一些，可能让你们对于美国那个诉讼制度，它比较容易能够理解。就是 first of all， 美国的诉讼 is a combination of equity and law that came down from very early of time. OK， 就是说一开始它是横平和这个法院并行的系统，所以它有很多的东西其实，但是着重的重点不一样。所以你们如果要知道，特别你们当翻译或者去读的时候呢，要去了解中间是有这些差别。譬如说，律师知道，就是说你有时候在美国说，你是专利侵权，对不对？所以呢，我要请法院，不是等你侵权完了，做了这么多侵害我专利的，卖到市场上，我要求你做损害赔偿，不要，我要求你现在不能卖。你法院要下 order 说 you can't sell 这个可能是侵权的产品，这是什么 ？equitable relief。所以那个法官就可以决定说，我要给你这个禁制令，还有啊别的他就说，你可能会加害，对不对？骚扰，对不对？你什么，法院的禁制令，那通通都是 equitable relief。然后一直演进到现在，有很多的，尤其合约的语言，像我刚刚讲 covenant not to sue， 那好奇怪。我那时候当律师，我根本不知道他在说些什么。后来你就说你不用去管太多，它中间是有差别。但是中间的差别就是这是一个像你如果用 agreement 那就是 law， 你如果是用 covenant 那就是 promise， 但是也是法律上，但是那个东西你请求的你基本上是一个横平的东西，所以它是走另外一条路，所以它没有 jury trial 的这种东西了。大概的理解是这样的，所以这是一个东西。还有另外就是美国的那个诉讼，它基本上是很长很费钱的，所以大部分的诉讼通通都是 settle， 在什么时候？在 discovery 中间或者结束的时候，就会 settle。还有一个情况就是 summary judgment， 有的时候连 discovery 都还没有做完，当时你就是闯红灯嘛，你自己也承认了嘛，我不需要再找张三说是闯红灯，李四说你闯红灯，你自己都承认你闯红灯，这 summary judgment 就来了。那时候 summary judgment 就来，所以这都是一系列这个美国诉讼比较特别的东西。